Be the age that we at and you get to become as successful as we are, you have to start doing some things that matter for the future.
If you look at it, they committed fraud. They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company.
Does that give you any closure? Or, what does that do for you to see that? Because I can imagine it could be very conflicting.
Yeah, because I don't champion putting young black men in jail,
Right.
Jail period. That ain't.
I don't know. It's more difficult. It makes it more. I'm being honest. It makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs.
What if the most dangerous move in hip-hop history is happening from inside a prison cell? While the world watches headlines, courtrooms, and celebrity reactions, a much deeper story may be unfolding behind closed doors. Sean Diddy Combs, once known for luxury, influence, and controlling every room he entered, is now in federal custody. But according to growing speculation, prison may not have ended his power at all. In fact, some believe it may have changed the way he uses it. Reports and rumors suggest Diddy could be sitting on information connected to one of music's longest-running mysteries, the death of Tupac Shakur. And if that information is valuable enough, it may become the key to something far bigger than revenge. It could become the key to freedom. The names now being pulled into the conversation are not random names either. Legends. Snoop Dogg and Reignited. Men whose stories are permanently tied to one of rap's most explosive eras. If Diddy truly knows something that investigators want, the man behind bars may actually be the one controlling the board. And if he's willing to talk, the fallout could reach far beyond one court, because when freedom, loyalty, and legacy collide...
Right now, Diddy is living a reality few people ever imagined. The man who once moved through mansions, sold out events, private islands, and billion-dollar business meetings is now waking up in federal custody. For decades, he represented status, power, and access. He was the person people wanted to know, the man celebrities wanted to stand beside, the executive who helped define an era. Those images feel distant now. The schedule is no longer his. The privacy is gone. The control he once projected has been replaced by rules, routines, and uncertainty. Even in that environment, many believe Diddy is not simply waiting for time to pass. Appeals are already being discussed. Legal teams are reportedly working every possible angle. People close to the case believe he understands something important. Prison is temporary if you know how to play the next move correctly. Instead of focusing only on surviving his sentence, he may already be planning how to shorten it. That means every conversation matters, every legal filing matters, every rumor matters, because powerful people rarely accept losing control quietly. If Diddy still believes he can change the outcome, then prison may not be. The moment whispers began that federal investigators were speaking with Diddy, everything changed. At first, it sounded like gossip, another rumor built around a famous name and a famous case. But then more details started circulating. The reports claimed Diddy may be sharing information tied to the Tupac investigation, a case that has haunted hip-hop for decades. Suddenly, people stopped dismissing it, because if federal agents are truly listening, then they believe there may be something worth hearing. And if Diddy is talking, he likely expects something in return. That is how the system often works. Information can become leverage, and leverage can become freedom. What made the rumors even more explosive were the names reportedly surfacing alongside the case. Snoop Dogg, two men whose connections to that era have never fully disappeared from public memory. If those names are now back in serious conversations, then old wounds are being reopened. Some believe Diddy may be trying to redirect pressure away from himself. Others believe he may finally know something that was hidden for years. Either way, the story becomes bigger than one man's sentence. It becomes a battle over legacy, truth, and survival. And if investigators decide his information has value, then a prison cell may become the place where the next chapter of hip-hop history was rewritten. What makes this entire situation so unsettling is how little of it seems to fit together. For years, official statements suggested Diddy was never considered a suspect in Tupac's case. His name floated through rumors, documentaries, and street stories, but public records and law enforcement messaging never painted him as a central target. So now the obvious question is impossible to ignore. If he was never deeply involved, how how could he suddenly have information valuable enough to help investigators decades later? That contradiction sits at the center of everything. Either Diddy knows more than people were told, or someone is overestimating what he can actually provide. Some believe this could be a strategic move, where information does not need to be perfect, only useful enough to create new leads. Others think it could be pressure tactics, with investigators exploring every possible angle, no matter how weak. But to the public, it creates confusion. If he knows major details, why wait until now? Why only speak once prison entered the picture? And if he does not know anything meaningful, why would anyone entertain the conversation at all? Those questions make the story more compelling because they expose a truth many people do not like to admit. In high-profile cases, certainty is rare. Motives overlap, narratives change, and sometimes the loudest story is built on the least clear facts. That is why this rumor feels less like a clean revelation and more like a dangerous game.
Snoop Dogg entering the conversation instantly raised the stakes. For years, Snoop has transformed his image into something larger than music. He became a cultural icon, a businessman, a television personality, and one of the most widely liked figures in entertainment. He moved beyond old rivals and became almost untouchable in a different way, not through fear, but through popularity. That is why any suggestion of federal attention creates such a dramatic contrast. It does not fit the version of Snoop most people know today, and that alone makes the story powerful. If rumors connect him to old events, then the damage may come long before any facts are proven. Public image can shift on suspicion alone. Every statement gets analyzed. Every denial gets replayed. Every old photo and interview gets pulled back into the spotlight. If there is one person nobody expected to stay quiet, it was Suge Knight. Even from prison, Suge has remained a loud presence whenever old hip-hop conflicts return to the headline. His name carries a reputation built on fear, power, controversy, and unfinished business. So when these rumors began spreading, many expected him to respond, and he did. For years, Suge has pointed blame in multiple directions, often accusing people others were too cautious to name publicly. Some dismiss him immediately because of his history. Others listen closely because they believe men with nothing left to lose sometimes speak more freely than anyone else. That tension makes Suge impossible to ignore. If Diddy is truly cooperating, and if Suge's name is part of those conversations, then an old war may be entering a new phase. The accuser could become the target. The man who spent decades throwing blame outward may now be forced to defend himself from behind bars. And even if nothing formal happens, perception alone matters. To many people, Suge already symbolizes the darkest side of that era. Any renewed scrutiny only strengthens that image. Yet there is also irony in it. The man who once looked most powerful is now confined, while another powerful man may be using information to reshape the story from a different prison. In that kind of battle, truth can easily become secondary to whoever controls.
The moment Tupac Shakur's family reportedly began pursuing their own legal path, the story changed again. This was no longer just about rumors, interviews, or internet theories. Families carry a different kind of weight because they are not chasing headlines, they are chasing answers. For decades, Tupac's death has existed in a painful space between public obsession and private grief. Millions discuss it as history, but for those closest to him, it never stopped being personal. If the family is now bringing serious attorneys into the picture, it signals they believe unresolved questions still matter. And more importantly, they may not trust others to answer them honestly. Their reported focus on Diddy adds another layer of pressure. While one side of the story claims he could be helping investigators, another side may be looking directly at him for accountability. That creates a rare scenario where the same man could be treated as a source in one room and a target in another. It also means the battle is no longer only legal, it becomes moral. Families often care less about deals and more about truth. If they believe someone benefited from silence, they may push harder than prosecutors ever would. And if new evidence, old witnesses, or forgotten documents emerge through private efforts, then people who thought time erased the danger may suddenly realize the clock never actually stopped.
Prima di hoy es absolutamente hermoso. Excellent. You got the intonation exactly right. Next sentence. Me gustaría pedir un café grande, por favor. Me gustaría pedir un café grande, por favor. Perfect. Your phrasing is improving so quickly. Keep up the good work.
When all the noise is stripped away, the central question becomes simple. What is Diddy's actual strategy? Powerful figures rarely rely on one escape route. They build options. In this case, there appear to be two possible paths. The first is legal victory.
through appeals, technical arguments, and courtroom reversals. The second is cooperation, where information becomes bargaining power. If either path succeeds, prison time could shrink dramatically. That means Diddy may not need to prove innocence in the public eye at all. He only needs one system to move in his favor. This is what makes the situation so controversial. Many people think justice should be clear and direct, but in reality, outcomes often depend on usefulness, timing, negotiation. If Diddy can provide investigators with something they consider meaningful, then his value changes instantly. If his legal team finds weakness in the conviction, that changes things too. And if both tracks operate at once, he gains leverage from multiple sides. To critics, that looks like manipulation. To supporters, it looks like smart survival. But strategy is rarely emotional. It is practical. It asks one question only: what works? If Diddy understands that better than everyone else involved, then he may emerge while others remain trapped in investigations, suspicion, and endless public debate. In that scenario, prison was never the final punishment. It was simply the place where the comeback was planned.
When if Diddy finds a path out, the biggest question may not be how he escaped, but who absorbs the fallout after he does. Because in stories like this, freedom for one person often creates damage for others. If Snoop Dogg's name remains tied to federal whispers, his carefully built image could carry a stain no verdict is needed to create. If Suge Knight becomes linked again to fresh scrutiny, it only deepens the legacy many already assigned to him years ago. If Tupac Shakur's family still lacks closure, then no legal maneuver solves the wound that started everything. And if the public never learns what was true versus what was traded behind closed doors, then suspicion becomes permanent. That may be the real cost here. Not prison time, not lawsuits, not headlines. Reputation, memory, history itself. Because once enough rumors enter the culture, they live longer than facts. Diddy may walk free, others may never be charged, cases may fade, but the narrative can remain for decades. Fans will argue, interviews will resurface, old footage will be reinterpreted, new generations will inherit unanswered questions as if they were proven truths. In the end, someone always pays when power and secrecy collide. The only uncertainty is whether the price is measured in years, money, or legacy. And in this story, legacy may be the most expensive thing anyone can lose.